Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the men's room.
And away we go. Welcome to show number 2,888. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, Robin Fox, and my cock. And you are in the men's room. On tap today, it is the random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories, jobs, and entertainers. Ask the Men's Room is back. Get ready to play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Clack, clack.
Drinking the draw. All right, here we go. PepsiCo looks to the future, buying SodaStream to break into the sparkling water craze.
Mud bubbles.
Postmen handle rain, snow, sleet, and hail with ease, but an 8-foot boa, that will definitely phase. Germans make no bones about not wanting to host E.T. Tampa Police Headquarters reeks of a smell, and you would like the key. An Alabama casino employee walks out with nearly $200,000. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, everyone says they wish they could travel more. It's always travel. I want to travel. And look, travel can be good. It can be, but not always. A British woman. She was on a cruise off the coast of Croatia, and she spent about 10 hours in the Adriatic Sea. The problem that she had is that she did not spend those 10 hours on the boat. You see, she'd fallen overboard, and she spent 10 hours treading water in the Adriatic Sea. Believe it or not, she survived. Now, that's one risk of travel. On the other end of the spectrum, of course, is air travel. Now, imagine being on a flight from Chicago to Tokyo. It's already a long flight. It's a little over 13 hours. And for one man, the flight felt even longer because another passenger peed on him. The guy that peed on him was sitting 2 rows behind him. They say he'd enjoyed 5 glasses of champagne. Let's just say he broke the seal. And then on a different flight, this one scheduled to go from Seattle to Los Angeles gets diverted to San Francisco because of a smell on the plane. That doesn't surprise anyone, but it was not an electrical smell. It was not a mechanical smell. It was the smell of a person. And no one's quite exactly sure what that person had done to create this smell, but it smelled so bad that other passengers started vomiting in their seats. So yeah, travel more. That's the point. These are some of the stories we saw that led to many questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question. And this is how it works. You call us, we will ask you a question at complete random. And after you share your scintillating story with us, we'll share with you the news story that inspired said question.
Be part of the big show on the random question. Call 844-999. Ola, like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send your emails to the Men's Room at mensroomlive.com. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Hold the cellos, and away we go. Welcome to show number 2,888. What a large and in charge program we have for you.
You think so?
A guaranteed future repeat. You will hear this show one more time. It's going to be so entertaining. This is one of those shows you're going to go, I bet they play that again when they finally take a vacation day.
I'm here to tell you right now.
One of these days they're going to take a vacation day.
Is already a repeat. What you're listening to has already happened.
Get out of here.
No, it really happened.
So it was already that good?
It was that good. We even have the same caller staged on the line.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, amazing stuff.
This is unbelievable. What a show do we have for you today. Your guess is as good as mine. The categories are going to be jobs and entertainment. We have the highest paid entertainers in the world. And we also have, believe it or not, what is considered to be the 10 hardest jobs.
Hardest jobs?
Yeah. So those are the categories coming up with Your Guess is as good as mine. Both technically jobs. Entertainers work very hard. They get paid very well.
Sure.
I mean, I don't think anybody's going to say that they don't work hard. I mean, you look at some of the people who work their ass off in the business and do well, and they work a lot. So, and they're on the list. You know what I mean?
But I'm guessing they're not on both lists.
You know what? No, they're not. Yeah, okay. They're not on both lists.
I think any industry, though. There's going to be some people that work hard and some people that don't.
I believe you're 100% correct.
Yeah, there's one person on this list, and I'm sure they work very hard.
But you don't believe it. You can't imagine what they're doing.
I know they work hard, I'm sure. Ask the Men's Room is coming up as well. If you have a question for any of us here in the Men's Room, just shoot us an email there to the Men's Room at mensroomlive.com. Ask away, and we'll answer all your questions.
I'm sure they work very hard.
They work I'm
sure
real
they do.
Hard.
Random.
In the meantime, we have our random question, 844-999. Hola.
Hello, Matthew. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. All right, Matthew, let's see what we have here for you.
How are you guys today?
Let's see here. Okay.
Hey, you got Baltimore's playing tonight, aren't they?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they are, man.
Bummer.
Okay, let's see here. All right, let's go with this one. What happened at the drive-thru? What happened at the drive-thru? Ted's dad's got stories.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't eat much at the drive-thru, so I don't have any really good drive-thru stories.
You don't eat at the drive-thru?
Well, I mean, I try not to. Very little. I mean,
okay, how often?
Maybe once a month in a pinch.
All right, and what's your go-to drive-thru place? Where do you go?
McDonald's.
Okay, all right, so no Taco Bell? Nothing
No,
crazy?
I've never been to Taco Bell.
You've never been to Taco Bell?
No, I've never been there.
Okay.
Not even like physically inside of the store. Never been to Taco Bell.
That I cannot say. I may have walked through one time, but I've never eaten there.
This is fascinating.
Huh.
Why have you never been, or even remotely? Do you like Mexican food in general?
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
I've actually lived in Mexico.
This is not
okay,
Mexican.
then maybe Taco Bell is not the place to go.
This is not Mexican food. Just take that right off the top and just
but
go
understand
in.
this is different though. Like no one's going to tell you Taco Bell is Mexican food. I don't even think Taco Bell is going to. I believe they call it Mexican inspired.
It is.
Taco Bell is entirely its own thing. Nothing else actually tastes like it. But you've never been in one. Is this just you have no interest? Is this out of principle? What?
No interest. Like you said, it's not Mexican food. I've seen it. I've looked at it. It doesn't look. Just no desire. I've never had a Whopper. I've never had a Big Mac.
You go to McDonald's. So do you just basically eat the same things all the time?
Only thing I've ever eaten at McDonald's pretty much is the Quarter Pounder with no pickles and extra onions.
The Quarter Pounder with no
Very
pickles
specific.
and extra. Okay, now I got to ask you.
Are you a fit guy?
Huh?
Are you a fit guy? I mean, are you sloppy looking? Are you in shape? What?
Oh, I'm very much in shape. I've worked outdoors my whole life.
Okay. Now, are you a picky eater?
Not so much. More of a strange eater. I just have a lot of idiosyncrasies with my food.
Okay, like give me another example. Like what else will you never touch? Come close to? No way. The other people.
I've never eaten mayonnaise, but I only eat tuna fish sandwiches.
So wait, you don't put mayonnaise. So you've had mayonnaise in your tuna.
Yep, but that's the only time I'll ever eat mayonnaise.
But you eat tuna sandwiches every day.
Well, not every day, but if I eat a sandwich, it's a tuna sandwich.
What is with the anti-mayonnaise people? You're like the fifth person I've met like this. I don't like mayonnaise, but I like tuna salad. Or I don't like mayonnaise, but I like crabs dips.
Well, look at it like this. A lot of people don't like tomatoes, but everyone uses ketchup.
What about
like it has its place, and you don't really taste the mayonnaise when you put it in tuna salad.
Tomatoes. I won't eat cooked tomatoes, but I love raw tomatoes.
Okay, what about mayonnaise in like potato salad, macaroni salad?
I don't eat macaroni salad. No
potato
salad. Too much
salad.
mayonnaise in it.
Do you eat ranch dressing?
No, I eat blue cheese and Catalina, and I only eat Catalina dressing on my tacos.
Wait, I didn't even know they still made that dressing.
Circle. What a wormhole this is.
So, like, what in your ideal world? What would be on your menu? What are the foods you love to eat?
Oh my goodness, I love like your Asian foods, Thais and Chinese and Vietnamese. I love that stuff.
Okay,
Mexican foods for sure.
Are there any chains that you can go to and be happy with the menu?
Oh, I like Five Guys.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
All right. That's normal.
There is something.
Now we got you. Okay. Reason we asked what happened to the drive-thru. It always seems like something happened to the drive-thru. We had a caller say that they tried to go through the drive-thru backward in high school.
Did poorly.
A couple episodes ago there. After police saw a man passed out while waiting in a Fullerton McDonald drive-thru, officers found and seized How many grams of meth do you think?
He fell asleep in the drive. 20 grams.
96 grams. I don't even know how much meth that is, but apparently it's a lot. He was passed out at the wheel of the vehicle at 2:34 a.m., and they discovered the meth on him in his glove compartment. There were also a number of other items indicating the man was going to sell the meth, according to police, though no information about those items were released. Police did not give any details about the man's possible arrest, as I guess they were trying to bust some other people who were located maybe within this ring.
I think it seems simple. But
96 grams of meth, so let's assume his intent was to distribute.
Plus, he's asleep. He obviously wasn't using the meth. He's asleep.
He's working hard.
That's what I'm saying. This is intent to distribute. Dude's sleeping.
Yeah, so we had a guy, and look, the guy says, I don't have a story about drive-thrus, and then we learn, like, he's just not a fast food guy, which, good on him, man. You know what I mean? Doesn't care about McDonald's, Burger King, never been to Taco Bell. So people are having a hard time believing this. So some of the comments coming in like, he's never had a Big Mac? No, that's why he said he's never had a Big Mac. He's never had, stop asking
He has a quarter pounder with pickles and extra onions.
No pickles and extra onions.
Oh, I thought he said his tuna fish sandwich, though, had pickles on it.
And then someone's like, does he have autism? Look, we don't know. The man just doesn't want to eat fast
food. He says he's fit. He's worked outside his whole life.
And that's abnormal. Mm-hmm. It's so abnormal to people that someone
that's why we were asking the question.
Just wants to be healthy. It's like, there must be something wrong with them.
Random.
Yeah. There's not a lot healthy about Five Guys.
Random.
No, but the fact that he's just never had anything from Taco Bell is amazing. Wow.
Accidentally have a taco? It's like, I'll put that on my tacos, so you do eat tacos.
Yeah, he loves tacos. Mm-hmm. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
All right, Alex.
How you guys doing?
We're doing good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing just dandy, thank you.
Just dandy. Ooh, those strong words.
Let's go with this one. No matter what kind of ticket it was, what is the most money that you have spent on a ticket? I guess more so to an event, unless you were going 99 miles an hour and you got to pay $400. Yeah, that's
if you
ticket,
spend more for a traffic ticket than a concert ticket, like you really effed up.
Sporting event. What was the most money you've dropped on an event for a ticket?
Well, I've only been pulled over once in my life, and that was for one speeding ticket on my way to work one weekend, and that was for $325.
Good God, man.
How fast were you going?
I think it was at 55 and a 35.
That's expensive. What state were you in?
Here, local, I was driving my way up to the Navy station in Everett.
Okay. I mean, places like Pennsylvania.
That's a really steep ticket.
That's what I mean. Like in Pennsylvania, they make it clear. I mean, they'll post this on signs we are here to take your goddamn money. And if you're going, like 5 miles an hour over the limit, it's exorbitant. That's why I assume maybe
you forget about that. When I went back home, I forgot that.
Forget that.
I forgot that the police are really there just to make money off speeding tickets.
That is it.
And you completely forget about that whole dynamic. I mean, I'm sure they have crime, but they don't care. It's really just
not in Pennsylvania.
No, or in West Virginia too. It's just a money-making operation.
It's like Girl Scout cookies, right? But the Girl Scouts say we're trying to raise money. You'd almost feel better if the cops are like, "Hey, man, thank you for contributing to our whatever fund. You're going to help put books in the local library because you were going 56 and a 55. That'll be $75, friend."
I'm trying to think. I think the most money I've ever spent on a ticket was definitely the Super Bowl.
Easily, man.
I don't think those. And
that was what, like $1,900. I think. Keep in mind, that's just the ticket. That means you can get to the game. You still have to get to New Orleans, is where we were your hotel. But that is easily the most expensive ticket.
I mean, just even thinking about that now, I'm like, wow.
Well, but here's the thing. And I say this, man, I say to anyone, if your team, your favorite football team goes to the Super Bowl, this excludes Patriots fans because your team goes a lot. But anybody else, you don't know when your team is ever going to go again, right? So just buy the ticket, you go. Yes, it's a lot of money, it's worth it. But I realize also the only reason I think it was worth all that money is because my team won. And I truly wonder, if my team lost and I dropped $1,900 goddamn dollars to watch a stadium black out and see Beyonce wiggle a purple finger at me, I'd be pissed.
It would be like going to the bunny ranch and not being able to get erection for 2 days.
But you spend as much as your buddy who got laid.
Right. You still take the time, so you got to pay anyway. But,
you wanted to get laid.
The reason we asked the most money you spent on a ticket, okay, we all know, and this guy, his name is Ed Zitron, and he writes for Deadspin.com. And he's basically talking about one of the new trends in the NFL. And the story begins, and it makes a lot of sense. A floor seat at a basketball game in the NBA has a lot of cultural weight powerfully. It helps that it's the best and most exciting way to watch a basketball game. Its appeal goes beyond that. Those seats are where the celebrities are. The investors go see a game. If you're seen from that angle, it's a badge of wealth and prominence. It's priced accordingly. They say even the least consequential NBA game, those tickets go for around $1,300. At Oracle Arena during the NBA Finals, they went anywhere from $15,000 to $90,000. Keep in mind, you might be 3 rows back and still be considered courtside. $90,000 a game in some instances.
$90,000, man.
So Ed, he realized, the NFL, they want a little piece of that courtside action too. After all, according to Ed, given that they had to split that pot of $7.8 billion between their teams, something must be done. So he said the Dolphins started this trend when they added their living room seating at the 35-yard line and end zones in 2015.
But you have to remember, nobody goes to Dolphins games. Part of the reason they did it is because no one goes.
These seats went for $17,000 to $19,000. They were only sold as a package of 4. All right. So you're talking about an $80,000 ticket for the year. And they had recliners that come.
That's $10,000 a game
with
That's
iPads,
$10,000,
all-inclusive food, booze, and car service. They were marketed to the largest, wealthiest sons that South Florida has to offer. They sold out immediately. For only $15,000, you can add a television, or up to 4 for $30,000.
I'm mad at you as a player that this guy sitting on the 35-yard line is watching the game in front of him on TV.
Don't you worry. They have the NFL Red Zone, so you don't have to watch the Dolphins if that game is happening in front of your face. So he goes on to say teams like the Vikings and Panthers have dipped into these field seats too. You may recall that when Adrian Peterson injured himself and he was headed into the locker room and he had to walk past a group of VIP patrons at a Vikings bar. Remember that? They're all kind of standing around, hollering at people and all that. Part of these experiences. For the 49ers, they say, joining that club is part of their new deal. They say the Raiders are leaving for Las Vegas. The Warriors, they get a new arena. San Jose Sharks has got their BMW club has an actual effing shark in it, he says. Those valuable luxury dollars are just out there sloshing around, and the NFL wants to cash in on it. So they say they have put in 64 recliners in the end zone of the 49ers stadium. Keep in mind, the 49ers stadium, by the way, is incredibly hot. There's not a lot of shade as far as the way that they've laid the stadium out. These tickets go for $12,500. They are in the end of the end zone compared to the seats that are at the 35-yard line in the Miami situation. It's called an all-inclusive in-seat area that comes with access to something called the Indento Field Club. For the Southfield seats, you get an all-you-can-eat tailgate run by Chef Michael Mina. Usually costs anything from $375 to $500, close to that. Everyone gets free parking. The layout centers around a giant bar with 2 different buffet sections: cold cuts, crab legs, shrimp cocktail, Bloody Mary bar, barbecue, and all you can eat and drink. And that means all you can eat and drink. If you want 4 orders of chicken tenders, get 4 orders of chicken tenders. Fries, you can get as many beers as you want. But the cost of that ticket per year is $12,500. You sit in a recliner. It has cup holders in the recliner. It's that whole deal. But you're in the end zone of the thing.
You have the worst sight line in the stadium. That's one thing. If you like football, that's the last place you want to sit, ground level, looking from one end zone to another. Because basically, you will see nothing, right? So you can spend all your time looking at what is the point? And I don't know about you, and certainly if it is my favorite team, I would assume if I dropped $12,000 to take these SEC seats with the food, you are my favorite team and I have the money. I don't recline when I watch football. Like reclining, I don't need a recline. I literally only need that edge of the seat that apparently happens at tractor pulls and circuses. Well, that's all I need.
And you're on the field for football. Basketball is just a different game when it comes to
closer to the court.
On the court.
Not only that, but
the sight lines are bad, and somebody's going to run over you.
Not only that, like there's suites in the end of CenturyLink, and Ted has season tickets that are fairly close to the end, where you're closer to the field and you can see everything that's going on.
I have season tickets for soccer there.
Soccer, but soccer. A yard to see a yard or two doesn't matter, but if you're trying to see if your team gets a first down or whatever, you're so low. It's cool to be close and low, but with football, you just
doesn't work.
It's just hard to see what's going on.
The one time we snuck on the field,
you don't know if he didn't get a yard or he got 5 yards because perception wise, you can't see.
You can't tell. I mean, when we snuck onto an NFL field, watch a game, and be honest with you, the experience was cool just because we're standing on the field and you can hear the crowd and you can't see anything. And I realized because from our point of view, everyone's taller than you.
Oh, the guy in front of you is 6'7" and he weighs 300 pounds. So it's like the worst person who sits in front of you at a movie, and they have an afro. And there's 100 of them.
And you can't really say, "Hey guys, excuse me, I'm trying to watch a game here,"
because they play on the team.
Right. Guys, you got to move.
And not only that, but
can I get some of that Gatorade?
If you for 1 second were to look down at your phone at that time and take your eye off the action, there's a good chance that both your knees will not function for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, honestly,
I didn't like being there after a while, man.
The action happens so fast, Steve. It's amazing to me when I think about what your brother does for a living, that he has not ripped his knee out, gotten run over accidentally, gotten smashed into an incident with guys that are flying and are faster than any other athlete with strength and speed, and you're in the middle of it. So inevitably.
But you're not in the middle of it. And that's the thing about the positions as officials. The referee rarely gets hurt, and even then, you have to blow up the quarterback to get to him or demolish the punter, right? Otherwise, you're probably not back there. The umpires get crushed because these guys, and then the chain of command, the umpire's right below the referee. But the umpire is put, in my opinion, in the worst possible place you can be on a football field. He stands directly behind these linebackers, but in front of the safeties. And these guys
start.
He is where everyone's trying to get to the middle field. They want to pick up whatever it is, man. Those guys get crushed. My brother, luckily, is off to the side, so you kind of keep your head on a swivel. But he can see the action coming toward him. I would be remiss to point out two things. This past weekend, he got to be the actual referee for the Raiders-Rams game for the first half, which is pretty cool because they kept saying his name, which was weird. Oh, let's see what Adrian Hill has to think. I'm like, he doesn't need all that, man. Just go to the ref. But he did a decent job, and his voice didn't sound too silly. But because his voice is like this, but understand when he knows,
sounds like the guy from Molly Hatchet.
He does. Flirting with disaster. But when he knows he's going to be on TV, man, he switches it up a little. I'll leave it at that. But now you talk about how fast these guys are. My brother is 54 years old, so he is twice as old as anyone on the field. All right. And he's never been fast, so there is no chance he's ever going to catch anyone. And there was one play 2 years ago. I believe it was Todd Gurley. It was somebody, but nobody thought he was going to pick up the first down. They certainly did not believe he would go clean up the sideline. So now here's my brother about 20 yards away from Todd Gurley, but the end zone is about another 50 yards past that. And to watch this highlight, they're always talking about Todd Gurley. You've never heard my mother laugh so hard, pointing at her child trying to chase down Todd Gurley to make sure he got into the end zone. The distance that Todd Gurley closed to my brother, keep in mind, they're both running the same direction. You were talking about that cop in Cleveland? Mm-hmm. It was like that. Todd Gurley blows by him. I mean, at the last possible second, my brother looks down. He says it's a touchdown. The crowd goes crazy. My mother calls him after the game. He's like, look, I just assumed it was a touchdown. I mean, like,
he ran past me.
I'm not right. He blew past me. I didn't see him step out. It's all good.
More of the random question coming up. 844-999-OLA. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Your guess is as good as mine. Coming up, the categories today will be jobs, as far as some of the hardest jobs in the world, and entertainers, and who made the most money. Your guess is as good as mine. Coming up before we drink and toast with the shot of the day. In the meantime, it is our random question. 844-999-OLA.
Random.
Hello, Cody. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Random.
Hola. All right, Cody, let's see what we have for you here. Okay. Okay. This is crazy. Cody, when did things turn into mayhem?
When did things turn into mayhem? So I must have been 16 or 17, and like I was just over at my buddy's house. It was in the morning, and like he was there. Him and his parents were all like, it was like a family meeting, kind of ish, but not really. They were talking about their camping trip, and me and a couple friends were over there. We stayed the night there, and like him and his friend were laughing at something on their phone, and his dad would like start freaking out and was like, "Dude, like your mom's talking to you. Get off your phone." Like it's like, okay, fine, and he like dropped it all like hissy, like being a brat almost, and his dad like stood up and like confronted him, like, you need to listen to me when I talk to you. And like he like leaned down and like, you know, like grabbed his shirt, like his collar, you know, like you do that, threaten someone. It got out of control really fast. Like he'd been drinking that morning, so I mean that probably didn't help either.
No, that's not good. He'd been drinking that morning, never leaves. So he invented electricity.
So what? As you're watching this unfold, how far did things go before you either left or what?
Oh, I definitely left. So I remember his dad going into the kitchen, and he like chucked his glass into the kitchen, into the sink, and like you heard it break and everything. And then me and my other friend started to get up to leave, and like him and his dad are still shouting, and like they got into each other's face, and it's like, get out of my house, Dad, or something like that. And he's like, oh, this is your house. You didn't even have a job and all this stuff. And it I don't know if it escalated to fist punches at all, but I left. I was out of there. Like that's not a place for me.
But now, wait a minute. You said before this, they were talking about their upcoming family camping trip.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like it was a number of years ago, but they were talking about doing something together as a family. They're going somewhere, or they were doing something.
Yeah,
so.
It doesn't seem like it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll stay here.
I feel like being isolated with this guy. Yeah.
And the add-on to everything. So I left, and I started walking to the bus stop. And as I was walking, his dad actually pulled over and picked me up and gave me a ride home.
Oh, good.
And
thanks, drunk dad. Appreciate that.
Yeah, right. I know.
Exactly.
It wasn't like awkward, but it was a little weird. He was all calm and he's like, yeah, I went over the line, but it's like, he's like, it wasn't even the drinking, I was just really frustrated, and I was like, yep,
Mm-hmm.
cool,
Did you bring up the drinking?
That's your life, man.
I mean, the thing is, but also like, hey, man, not to get on you about drink. Sorry to fart. Not about your drink, but like now you're driving me, and I know you've been drinking. If it's all the same, I'll just take the bus.
No, exactly.
I was like 15 or 16, so I didn't really register, I completely forgot that he was drinking. I was just like, okay, I guess I'll get in the car and get a ride home. I was still kind of like shell-shocked almost, because it was just...
See, this is where the mom needs to use some logic and say, you've been drinking, I'll go pick him up, I'll take him home. You guys just
I'll
stay
grab
here
the kid
and don't kill each other.
I will say, I've been in that position of taking the ride. I was leaving a wedding of my cousins, right?
Okay.
So his other cousins, no blood relation to me. But I don't know what happened. The mom and dad weren't really drunk, but all the kids were drunk. And they were like, we're not riding back to the hotel or whatever with you. There's a whole scene. I am pissed drunk. I miss all of this. And as I walk around, the dad in anger just yells, well, we're getting the F out of here. Does anybody want to ride? I was like, oh, man, I would love a ride. Oh, so I hop in the back.
Unbeknownst to anything.
That ride was awkward.
Because you don't know.
I don't know.
How long did it take you to figure out?
I mean, within, before we leave the parking lot, they start having the real serious conversation about their kids drinking and this and that.
No.
I don't, I'm just sitting in the back wasted.
Yeah, dude, I'd love a ride. Thank you, man.
It didn't even dawn on me how pissed he was.
Shotgun.
Right.
Oh,
rides? I'm in.
The reason we asked, when did things turn into mayhem? Two groups of golfers got into a brawl on a public course in Plymouth, Massachusetts. If you're wondering, that's about 40 miles southeast of Boston there. And a 47-year-old guy who got in one of the groups and got into a fight bit another guy's thumb completely off.
Oh!
It is not clear how this fight started or what they were fighting about, but he took the guy's thumb off down to his knuckle. And I actually just tried to do my golf grip without
the thumb.
And I'm telling you what, he ruined his game forever. Like, you can't grip on a club. I don't know how you could play golf.
You throw your club every time you swing, wouldn't
maybe
you?
he had one.
Well, but
Depends on which thumb it is.
all right, but man, your thumb's real important. He's
It
facing.
separates us from the animals,
It
man.
really is.
Just
It's
the
real
position
important.
of
I'm
them.
not trying to get too deep or anything.
Everything changed,
Yeah,
right?
seriously.
Like, damn.
He is facing a charge of.
Hold on. What do you think it is? All right,
Oh,
so
it's got to be aggravated assault.
grievous bodily harm. That's what I'm going with.
The charge is mayhem, and that's why we asked,
Mayhem?
when did things turn into mayhem? Mayhem, which in Massachusetts means a quote, a malicious intent to maim or disfigured. He could face up to 20 years in prison. Now, meantime, the guy who lost his thumb, he was treated at a nearby hospital. Apparently, his friends put his thumb on. He must have spit out the thumb.
Right.
But we don't know yet if doctors were able to reattach it.
I would assume he spit it out.
It's another relaxing day at the golf course, huh, boys?
Good Lord.
Nobody's been drinking here. Random question, 844-999-OLA.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.